Let's get the show on the road. How's it going, everyone? I'm not going to say it. Welcome. I am Kai is in the house. Karen 18. Karen, amen to that. Yeah. Would you go to space, Karen 18? Would you trust Blue Origin to bring you to space as a tourist, giving them 1.5 approximately $1 million? How's it going, Kai? May God, the creator of creation, bless and keep us all. Amen, she says, and that's damn right. That's a perfect opening for the stream. We're done. Lots going on in space, lots of news. Now the US Navy is talking about not wanting to release anything, but in reality, the only defense mechanism that we have as citizens of America, even though I'm not a citizen, for me anyways, I won't be able to do anything. The Freedom of Information Act, you probably all heard about that. And that's what's going to help us declassify some of these documents. The Pentagon has been caught studying, doing experimentation about time travel, portals, gates, all this sci-fi. What used to be sci-fi is now not sci-fi. They've been doing that with the money of the American people, tax money. So you can only imagine what they're doing behind their backs. And for those of you who are not from the States and say, doesn't affect me, it's not my country. It's a leading country. And for those who don't know what leading countries are, they're involved. And basically what I believe is that leading countries are leading the world. And they're in charge of things. They have access to certain things. Now we're seeing countries do certain dealings that we've never seen before, right? Like basically the Ukraine, what the States are doing. Canada too, we sent millions of dollars to, if not billions. So did the States, the UK, France. Why is everyone defending other countries when in reality, forgot my guitar in the way there. Sorry about that. I don't want to get it there actually. Space is what we're focusing on. And yeah. Hey, I have to thank everyone for stopping in. Mr. Peter Benton. No Wednesday this week again, man. I'm not going to say why. You know why. Oof. I went out and did my errands before coming to start the stream. So I ran out. That way I won't have to get out afterwards. I'll be able to right away start the videos. It's a little bit of a fan. It's been cold here, actually. It's been very cold the past 2 days. They're announcing, hey, look at all the people here. Elias, Community Friday. Once again, peeps, take time about serious stuff, real talk time. Thank you very much, Mr. Peter Benton. You guys can check out Peter's channel also. And the people that come back here all the time, well, a lot of us go to the channels and we all interact on some of the channels. I haven't been to Barbwee's channel. I haven't been to Peter's channel in a couple of days too, because I've been so busy. I got some things coming up on the 19th. I'm anxious to get over with so I can concentrate, focus solely, which I still am only focusing on the research. Hope people are appreciating the videos, and I'm sure they are, because we actually have some new faces here this month with it, which is an astonishing surprise. I'm actually very, very happy. Those just arriving, we have an amazing community. I wouldn't be here if it wouldn't be for the people that you're seeing here right now on the channel, helping me in every ways possible by becoming members, by liking the videos. You don't have any money, you want to view a video, it's really helping me. It's going to attract more people to come by the channel. Elias Barnes, how's it going, my friends? Grace Fitted, how's it going? Good afternoon to you. Anyone new here, just arriving, even though you don't want to put any attention on yourself, let us know that you're new. Let us know it's your first time at the stream or something, so we can welcome you, proper welcome. Space channels, I'm not going to say that they don't interact with the people, because that would be a lie, but a lot of the big channels, like you've all seen, probably like I've seen, a lot of channels I really appreciate out there that I leave messages sometimes. And of course, they can't answer all the comments, but the ones that take the time to answer a couple of comments is always really fun. Gives you a chance to think that you're going to be replied. And why I do it as much as I can? Well, because it's therapeutic. And the best part of this channel, honestly, the best part, right after having exposed some of the moon, is all the comments. They're incredible. Some of you go all out, paragraph comments from the heart, and that is a trophy in itself. I really appreciate that. Got more comments this week, finally, but still notice each video gets 100 comments, no matter how much. Even the video that went up to 20,000 just last week still only got about 150 comments. You'll say there's 300 comments or 400 comments. I replied once, twice, 3 times, sometimes to some people, but it helps. Yann Pelletier, merci mon frère d'être ici. Thanks, guys. My amazing French supportive community from Ovni Quebec Astronomy. Yeah, you speak French, you have French friends, or you understand this, you want to understand the research better in your language and you speak French, head over to my French channel. It's featured. I featured my own channel, so double check the feature where it's written channels on top of my channel. You can go to the channels that I'm sharing. Beverly Braley, how's it going? Hello to you. Much love. Thank you very much. Love you guys for the amazing support. Thanks, Beverly, for the comments, for coming back. Always a pleasure. Karen 18 in the house. Some new people really contributing to the channel. Karen 18, thanks for being here. Evelyn Saba, how are you, my dear New Zealand loving, caring friend? How's it going? Evelyn, thanks for the amazing comments on the channel. Hope you and your hubby are doing well this morning. New Zealand, even though we're not allowed talking about it very much, some good news for you guys as the COVID is over. I don't think you'll be hearing about any of this anymore. So that's a good thing. It's coming out. It's not in our news here. It's a very hush-hush. We had to do some, obviously, I'm doing some research to look in the other countries to see what's going on, because even though the media has always been there for the governments and to lie to us, well, now it's bad. It's like now they're lying through their teeth. Literally, we see death on one side, and on the other side, it's a sunny day. That's what they're saying. It's very, very sad. But it makes us realize how many people are indoctrinated into the system. I was talking this afternoon with a family member. A lot of people, got the shot and stuff in the families, and some didn't. So anyways, talk about destroying families is what the way I look at it. The fear factor has always been that the government controls us with fear. They don't have the power, physical power of us, even though people think they do. They don't. The military, the police, in the past 2 years, do you know how many quit in US and in Canada? Police force, entire police force in Ottawa. That's when all the police started acting really bad, because I don't put them all in the same boat. That's for sure. I wanted to become a researcher and a truth seeker to be able to share truth. So some of them are liars and some of them aren't, but we can't put them all in the same boat. We see police officers literally being so horrible with the people, but the police officers that are being really cool with the people, there's not many videos out about that, but I know that deep down that there are some. For them to quit the way they did, some of the police officers, it's because they were good people. Seeing that, defund the police, defund this, and how about defunding the government? Maybe that would be a bit better, because we work our asses off, and everything that's built in your country today, no matter what country you're in, is because of you and because of the generation of your family who worked in the country, no matter what country you're in, contributed to the country. But we're all numbers. That's how it is. It's a very sad thing that we're all numbers, but we really are. Peter, thank you so much, man. Have you seen, hey, Bruce, you rock. You rock, man. Thank you so much, bro. This is so generous. I will finally be sending you the long-awaited gift. Oh, yes. Yes. Well, you had told me that, you're in a relationship. I understood it right away, what you had said to me. Sometimes you want to do something for someone, but it doesn't mean everything's okay. I bought for you back in January, just waiting for the bubble wrap and off to post office soon. Thank you so much, man. Just already a gift with the $50, and for being a member, man, for being on my English French channels and supporting the channel the way you do. Peter, all of a sudden, well, he's always been interested in UFOs, but he's been seeing some stuff in the sky. He saw a dark triangle the other day also. And boy, it pisses you off when you don't, when you're not able to film it properly. I've seen some things that I wasn't able to film, like a monstrous object flying by the moon. It looked almost like a quarter the size of the moon. I was flipping out, but it went by and I didn't get it. Sometimes that happens. Thank you so much, Peter. Thanks so much, man. Barb Weast, we're just speaking of you. Didn't forget your channel, my dear friends. Been a couple of days I haven't been around on the channels. Got my mind set on a couple of things that I want to get over with in a couple of days. And I guess I am sick. I guess that's what happens when the eye problem happens, is that I get sick. Yeah, Mom, I mentioned about the eye. Sorry. Stop fucking complaining. Static Bat. Hello. Thanks so much for being here. Bobana in the house. Leia. Can't thank you guys enough. When 93.9K, and I'm so honored. Honestly, Leia, honestly, the channel does not go up usually that fast, and it is fast to get a couple of subs. I'm getting anywhere from 7 to 10 people a day that come by, and some of them subscribe, which is totally awesome because we started this at 93, probably, I guess, 0.6 or 0.7. In the past couple of days, we got a lot of people here, and I really appreciate that. I had to do quite the controversial video to get people attracted to the channel. There's a lot of bullshit lying channels out there, but they're not all bullshit lying channels. The research here that I show is pretty unique. There's not a lot of people doing it. I've not seen anyone having been able to do the exactly the same technique, which is a simple technique. It's just being able to clarify the surface without showing any pixelation. But I don't care if there's 100,000 comments or 1,000,000 comments or just 10 comments. I'm always going to try to comment back and reply as much as I can. What's the use of having an amazing channel and having a comment section for just for people to come and chat in? I like replying and joining into those chats, but yeah, taking my vitamin C, so I'll be okay by the end of the week for sure. Beth Noyce, thank you so much. The generous contributions. Peter, Beth, thanks a lot, you guys. Happy Friday, she says. Hi, Bruce. Love you guys. I love you more. Keep up the awesome work. Peter, I've seen a massive black triangle. 2 of my kids witnessed it. Okay. Triangle 2. My kids witnessed it. I'm sorry about that. Back in 2010. I love you all. Love you more. Thank you very much, Beth. That's an amazing thing. And like you probably know, Beth, I think it runs in the family, right? If you've had encounters yourself, like even seeing a ship being present. And anyway, she's never bragged about it, but Beth had an amazing interview and on a channel, and you have to go to her channel. I'm sure she shared the link. I hope you did, about her interview, talking about her spiritual encounter. But sometimes when that happens, the family has a tendency, I don't know if it runs, if it's genetic or if it's hereditary, if you can really say that if mother gets abducted or has an encounter, will the children have any encounters? I don't know about that. My son's not really seen UFOs except for when I showed them to him. But of course, he's not spending his days looking up in the sky. But he saw them. He knows they're real. And one evening here, I was able to say, well, come out and look up. Give me a second there, and I'll show you where they are. Looked up, and then there was 3 in the center there roaming around. My kid was like, what the hell are they? UAPs, man. Unidentified aerial phenomena. Lights that we don't know about, that the government is not talking about to us. So it gets really exciting. The stats. Hello, how's it going? Stuff must be in on your end for sure. I'm going to be going in the next couple of days, and I'll be able to confirm that to you guys, since it takes like an era to get mail and stuff. Hello, sweet moon man. Well, hello, sweet individual. Please hit the thumbs up, like, share, subscribe, binge. One of my favorite words. Thank you so much. Not with food, but with videos. Watch our videos, comment, and enjoy your visit. More to come. I can't thank you enough, Julie. Check out Julie's channel if you want to see some cool channels. And you always make me laugh. A little video, and she adds a little funny thing. Bear Tracks was funny. Nature, lots of nature that you're getting. I really appreciate your videos too, Julie. I hope Floyd is doing well, our friend Floyd. And I want to thank you guys for the amazing support to the channel, the interest for coming back, like Bobana, like Static Bat, and everyone. Thank you so much. Awesome. Thanks, Evelyn. Darla's in the house. Thanks so much for welcoming everyone, Darla. Barb says, I was just thinking of the Freedom Information Act a couple minutes ago. Probably reading your mind, but or we're you know how we're twinsy, we're connected. We're like that movie I keep saying, Twins, where you have Danny DeVito and Arnold Schwarzenegger together, but they were 2 different sized people that had a very same idea of life. Anyways, I don't know. It was a comedy. Don't want to compare Barb and my friendly relationship with Barb to that, but I'm sure she'll get a good laugh out of it. Yeah, the Freedom of Information Act is something that citizens of America are able to have certain secret documents and classified documents declassified. The US Navy just announced that they're not going to declassify anything for reasons of national security. So that is something very, very interesting. Uh, I want to talk definitely about everything with theirs, Gate Smasher. Thank you very much, Karen 18. Gate Smasher in the house. Good Friday, Bruce, and everyone who decided to seek out truth. Thank you so much. The truth seekers are here for real. I think out of many of the channels, there's a lot of truth seekers that go to certain channels. There's another one there, Super Dave 45, which, by the way, for those who don't know, that is his second channel. That really is Super Dave, a backup channel. So Super Dave 44 is his channel, and he has Super Dave 45. Don't forget the capital S and D, because he's just a robot. He's an SD card. Another very supportive person on the channel. He has an amazing channel too. Keeps us updated on earthquakes and some very controversial videos that make people wake up in these times where we're not allowed to say many things and we have to read between the lines and sort of talk through coding, which is not always very pleasant. Blue Origin, would you go to space? You know what the Blue Origin New Shepard reminds me of? And for those who don't know, that is the vessel that brings up rich tourists for $1.5 million, basically something like that, to be able to be launched into space and then to fall back down to Earth. There was an anomaly. It was an unsuccessful failure on the, or a successful failure. Blue Origin New Shepard sent up some people, don't know who they sent up, at the point where they were sending up the New Shepard, massive, looks like a big dick in the sky. It's not supposed to be flying. Okay, they sent that up to the sky, into space, supposedly. They didn't get there. And at one point, they say, you know how the lady that's explaining everything that's going on, right, at Central on the ground, explained that right now, when the accident happened, because it is an accident, it's a failure to communicate also, because Congress wants some transparency in the investigation of the Blue Origin New Shepard failure. Is that going to come out? So hush, hush. Would you go to space and pay $1.5 million for to get into a spaceship that's never gone up, aside from once or twice, including all the accidents and times that they weren't able to go up and explosions and everything, and just sit there saying, hey, I'm paying $1.5 million to get up to friggin' space? They're experimenting on you. They're looking at you saying, well, I hope it goes up. And it didn't go up. And at the point where the woman said we are now at the point where the most pressure is exerted on the craft. This is the part where the most force is being used and being pushed against this craft. And as they said that, the whole rocket end of the fuel let go. But before that, I'm not going to say there was an explosion, but I saw it. It launched from the rocket itself, poof, which was a safety mechanism. There was already a problem as they were going up, I believe. The capsule let go, and just this little tiny capsule started thrusting to go up to space. And I was like, that's all the rocket they used to go up to space? No, it let go. And then it started coming down with 3 tiny parachutes. And then the woman, after about a minute and a half or 2 minutes, says, well, it's nice to see that we can see the safety mechanism is working just fine as they're coming back down to Earth. It's so retarded. It's so stupid that they're doing this in front of us. The U.S. is funding all of this, sending people up to space, and the ones that are going to die, it's like, what's going to happen? What's going to happen if they have accidents? I don't trust going to space. I guarantee it. If I go to space, it's through abduction. Okay? At least if you get abducted, you know they're not going to crash, at least. They're used to flying around in space and talk. It's so talk about anything, time travel and celebration. When you look up all the information and they say the myth. Planet neighborhood up, it's myth. Right? You look anything up and it's myth. The Anunnaki, they explain about all of the Anunnaki, Nibiru, but it's a myth, they say. And that's how they keep us in the dark. It doesn't mean that it's true that they're all myths. It's like the wormholes. I got you about wormholes in the last video. A lot of you didn't see it. Didn't see the description of the video. I put in the description of the video that wormholes are said to be myths, science fiction. I denied it. It could be just the UFO that took off really fast, and the dotted line is what we would see. You can't make dotted lines with an infrared camera. It's a solid full line. I've done the test and video before. So, excuse me. So what the hell's going on? And they're not talking about it. They're not talking about what happened. But after this, now the Navy's saying that they're not going to release anything. They're hiding something. They're definitely hiding something. I think the person that revealed something that leaked, because there was something leaked, they say. Excuse me, guys. What if it was me? I'll start again if it goes off. Don't worry about that. A little bit of flashing. Okay, they want me to shut up. Okay, let's go on to hello, Super Dave 45 is here. Isn't that scary? A little bit of flashing. Elon Musk at home trying to cut off my my feed. Canouille, merci. Janine, merci beaucoup d'être ici. Welcome, you guys. Aléa, je ne l'ai pas vu encore, mais je vais le voir bientôt. Et là, thank you very much. Little Minx, thanks for coming back, you guys. Thanks, Little Minx, for the generous contributions, the support here, and everything you do. Bruce and all you lovely people, hello to you. Thank you, Mr. Gate Smasher. Hoorah. Smash that like button. I really appreciate it. My pleasure, Super Dave 45. You're a good guy, man. I love having you by the channel. Love watching your videos too at the same time. I wish I had more time to go to everyone's channels. I do this full time. I'm stuck pretty much here, which no regrets. I love doing the work, but I really appreciate you being here, man. I've not met that many authentic people online, bro. I'm telling you, the people that are here, you guys are it. I've not met anyone else online that's authentic. Had problems with a whole bunch of people online, actually. Last night, almost full moon missing back spot in the sky. Where was it in? Mars was exactly where it should be, but the moon was behind something. Holy crap. So I'm a little pissed off now because I wasn't able to see the sky yesterday. But you see, that's the thing. We're wondering who's moving around in space, which celestial object is moving around. Is it? I'm getting some really good comments from you guys and questions and gals. Is Earth on tilting more, and that's why everything looks like it's out of place? Or is everything out of place? And it's true. It could be just Earth. It could be just us that is shifting and on its axis or whatever. The moon last night was not north, but it's like it wants to head there. Too far north from the east. It was northeast east, if you want. It was incredible how the moon was in different places. And it's a great big variation because it's like from there to there that the moon goes by instead of just having a little shift, right? There's only usually a little shift on the moon during the equinox, solstice, summer solstice, and all that. It's normal. They say that the moon shifts and it looks different. I looked up that information, but we're not talking about those times. We're talking about all year that we're seeing a shift and change in some of these celestial objects, all of them, even the stars at one point. Thanks for bringing that up, Julie. Robert, thanks for coming back, brother. Burns here. Thanks, you guys. Thanks again, Static Bat. Good vibes, you guys. Thanks again, Leia. Brian, how's it going, man? Thank you very much. Welcome to myself. Welcome, Brian. Yes, and thanks for being here, man. Thanks for taking the time to stop by the stream and say hello, and I hope you check out the videos. Channel's always been shadow banned, been thrashed by many trolls and stuff, and harassed and threatened, and now we're going to see what's happening. I think something is coming out. I think I thought they were going to divulge something to let us know some things, but I guess it's just too secret. Maybe it's because it's the US doing all this UFO stuff and they're going to blame China. If we see a China Russian blame game and stuff like that, I exclude all three idiots. Every country, including mine. I'm not going to start trashing US people. It's your government. You all know it. They're corrupt as hell. It's the worst living people ever on this planet. They're demons, unfortunately. So you can blink the screens all you want. There's no law against disagreeing with the government. There never has been. It's only been fear tactics. They try to scare you. That's how it is. What's new? Well, recently released just a couple of weeks ago documents from the Pentagon doing experimentation related to the moon, wanting to nuke the moon. Norma C., Evelyn Saba mentioned to me about Elon Musk wanting to nuke Mars to maybe create a bit more heat or whatnot. Don't forget, those nukes that they wanted to do on the moon was for reason of time travel and experimentation in portals and gates, portal gates, like the real thing, the Gate Project. And I'm not talking about Bill. We're talking about portals to travel through space and time. So I am no genius, far from being a genius. But if you do just a little bit of research, no, a lot of research, and my brain is like mush, finding out like who cares how many atoms per square feet in space exist, right? Well, you don't care unless you start wanting to really understand time travel and what people are saying. When you do just a lot of research, you're going to understand that 85, 90% of all the channels that are talking about time travel and teleportation is all just theories. Now, I have a lot of theories too, a lot of assumptions, because that's what science is. Science is something that's always evolving. It's never going to be one thing. They're never going to agree either. People in science never agree with each other when they talk about these things. But that's how it is. Mix Mayhem, thanks a lot, man. Thanks, you guys. Amazing support, comments, and everything. Oh, that's right. Thanks for letting me know, Super Dave. I have no access to give you guys anything right now, but next stream, I'm gonna go back on YouTube. You know, Super Dave, when you use StreamYard, I have no access to the mods. I can't pin any posts either. It's too bad YouTube does that. You have to go strictly with YouTube to be able to add mods and stuff, but didn't forget that. Thank you very much. Sarah, how's it going? Ooh la la, the infamous Bruce Almighty. Thank you so much. I like what else? What other word do they use? Nefarious? That was a bit much, but all these big titles, boy. Woo, bring them on. I'm still going to be the same old Bruce, and I'm always going to appreciate the comments and the support this channel gets. I don't care if I make it to television, which I will, but not for my space research. I'm just a good actor. Basically, that's probably why I'd get there. Where's the moon hiding? I do not know. I saw it this morning, Gate Smasher. This morning, again, that Selenelian reason where we see that 180 degrees, the sun and the moon side by side. You know what's blowing my mind? How long have we seen the moon full? The full moon just went by. I looked at it just now. It's at the back. If you want to know where the moon is right now, where it usually sets for you, that's where it is right now. Maybe even missed it because it was high enough this afternoon when I saw it this morning, actually, not this afternoon. But yeah, the moon is moving around like a drunken sailor on a boat, a ship on a stormy day. Arg. That's what's going on. It's crazy to see the moon shifting like that. It's very scary. And to see the ignorance of some people saying that's normal. They know it's not normal. Nobody saying that knows it's normal. People like bugging other channels. That's basically it. But don't you worry. The trolls are doing their own research. When they come and they see what I say, boy, they want to check me out to see if I'm saying the right things. And I'm honored. I'm honored for that. Thanks to Julie. Sorry. Yes. Thank you very much, Yann Pelletier. Merci, mon frère. Thanks, guys. You can become a member too. Thank you so much, the stats. And on every video, you see a join blue button. If you want to become a member and help the channel for a few dollars, you can do so. There's a super thanks button. I have to thank you all this week for having given some super thanks. There's many ways you can contribute to the channel. Just by, if you're here watching the stream, you're contributing to the channel. Something amazing. Channel just popped up because I've been investigating what's going on with UFOs. You know what? Thank you so much for letting me know that. And that is something very true. When I started researching secret societies intensely and in theology and as a hobby, but I went deep into theology. And that's what happened to me. When you start doing certain searches for certain things, YouTube, for whatever the reason, I swear to you, this is true. YouTube starts presenting you videos based on your search. That happened to me. Sometimes I see a channel that's got no views one video by itself, and it has to do so much with my work or what I had just said. Artificial intelligence is something scary, but I like to use it for myself. Google is a weapon. Anybody can use Google in different ways, depending on how smart you are. Certain questions, keywords, many features that, it's a weapon, it's a tool. And I believe a military can go into anybody's house and sit down and connect directly to some secret website just by connecting with their own numbers on the internet. There's different, we got the internet, there's other frequencies and waves that we see right here in analytics, in a regular silly platform, that people are watching my videos from other means that are not the internet, unknown means. So before I say this, people from the moon, maybe not, but wow, thank you so much, In Front of You channel. Thank you so much for the amazing support, you guys. Thanks for being a member. And of course, for the incredible comments, In Front of You channel. Thank you so much. Appreciate it, guys. Please do so. Click the bell for notifications if you want to get notified on upcoming videos. No obligation, but if you subscribe to the channel, an angel gets its wings. Just saying it. That's what happens. No, I'm not going to steal what Jimmy Kimmel does every video and try to get people to subscribe to him. Did you see all those talk shows, how they showed their true colors? We know all the leftists now and all the rights. I stopped listening to all the talk show hosts and whole bunch of sad things that were happening. Peter, thank you so much, bro. Thank you very much, man, for the incredible support to this channel, guys. Julie, thank you. Welcome, A Commercial, Sarcastic Storage Stacker, and all our new friends in the chat. Thank you for joining us. And our awesome Moon Man, please hit, let me repeat that. Our awesome Moon Man, please hit the thumbs up and any mail. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Julie Stats and Floyd, you guys, I love you. And I was just arriving at work. Give you all my attention in 50 minutes. Sorry if I miss your comment. Don't even worry about it, man. Merci beaucoup, Elias, d'être à sa job puis de prendre le temps de venir me voir. Thank you so much. I loved your Texas Hold'em, by the way. Made a video of one of his friends that he unfortunately passed away. And they used to have poker nights, and I guess they did another great reunion with some of his friends. And then Clis de bon gars, man. Thanks, Elias. Thanks so much, you guys. I'm super excited that you do live streams, Bruce. What an absolute, oh my gosh. Thank you so much, Sarah. I'm honored to have people interested in wanting to come and talk on the streams. We've always been really a small bunch of a couple of hundred people that always come back, and we've pretty much always been just ourselves. But I do see some new people sometimes, and just not used to it. But it's awesome for the incredible support that you all give this channel. I really can't thank you all enough. Some of you go all out and do so much extra. Hugh, how's it going? Or who go darn? Welcome. Hello to you. Thanks, guys, for coming back. And who go darn came back because he was here the last time, if I'm not mistaken. God darn. My Haunted Life, thank you so much for becoming a member. Wow. And thanks for the incredible comments the past few weeks, months. I really appreciate it, you guys. Hey, too much love. What the hell's going on? I'm going to pinch myself here. Thank you so much, Darla. Some people want a poster. They've mentioned it to me. They like my sinus iridium base. Straight up. Each video in the details has a Patreon link. The cover image of my channel has a Patreon link, and also pictorem.com. But it's a free channel, so anyone can come here completely free and watch the videos. But very important to say, I can't thank you all enough. If it wasn't for the contributors and everything, I really would not be here. Thanks so much, you guys. So if you want to get a poster of a base, real surface structuring, it's on my Pictorem channel with only a few images there, and you guys can check it out to see if you're you don't have to buy anything if you just want to go root around and look at some of the images. I got some nice images up. Jesus in the house, Marilla Diaz, thank you very much. Cheers, everyone, celebrating Mexico's independence and working. Listen, guys, people in Mexico and all the people in the US and all the people in Canada, We should all have gotten together to be able to take back our land and make one country with it. Separate the country with the three nations, but take down the borders and have us all just together. You know, we hear a lot of stuff in the news that people hate this. Oh, look at Mexico, this. Oh, look what Canada did. Look what the US did. But in reality, we're all here in the same boat trying to make it, right? And listen, Mexico, there's one thing over the years is the people have always been suppressed in Mexico. So absolutely, any way people in Mexico can have their independence back, I'm all for that. Thanks a lot, Jesus Murillo Diaz, for sharing that, brother. Pixel Riders Multimedia. I have an idea. If you attach Sony X Aurora Pro, yes, to your telescope to get IR color, maybe is a game changer. Thank you very much for suggesting that. It's not crazy, my friend. Yeah, I want to get an infrared filter at the back or cover for that. Can you imagine me filming the UFOs that I'm seeing going by with the infrared filter on a 14-inch scope? It's hard to move the buggers when they go by and stuff, but that's a good idea. Absolutely. We're going to be ramping up the quality of the images very, very soon. And now at almost 50 megapixels, well, we're going to ramp that up to about double. But you see, it's double the price. Money is so bloody expensive, the cameras, but we're going to get there. And my goal is showing the smaller objects on the moon that are impossible to see properly. We'll be able to see all the small, minute details that we weren't able to see in the past. If you have a 6-inch telescope and you buy a 14-inch telescope, you're going to say, whoa, I thought I would have been a lot closer than that. That's how it is. If I go from a 14 to a 20, we'll be closer. But you go, whoa, I thought I would have been closer than that. So when people ask me, do you think the moon is pretty far? Well, far enough. If we're taking big ass telescopes and having a hard time reaching the surface and seeing the surface, it could be pretty far. But is it 400,000 kilometers far? Maybe not, right? Just in theory. Thanks again, Darla. Moon posters, that's the link you want to click on. We have Al in the house, evening from Old South Wales. Thank you very much. First of all, check out my friend I Am Kai's channel. Another amazing contributor to this channel. Al, evening from Old South Wales. Thank you very much, my friends. How's it going down there, you guys? So many changes in the countries. It's getting ridiculous, isn't it? Evelyn, Bryce, we all love you. Thank you very much here in New Zealand. I wish I was there, Evelyn, in New Zealand. It's definitely a place on the bucket list that I would have loved to have visited. That's for sure. Peter, thank you so much, brother. Thanks, you guys. You guys give a hand to Barb's channel, but only if you like the channel. Go listen to her videos. You're going to fall in love with her. Helping her get to 300 subs. Well, hell, I thought she would have been way over that. Check her out, guys. Another awake soul. We love going over to Barb's channel. Thanks, Darla. Mike Smith, thank you so much, man. Yeah, Super Dave 45. And you have to check out his channel, Super Dave 44. That's his official channel, man. He's a hell of a good guy. He interacts with everyone. He answers as many comments as he can, if not all of them. And he's a hell of a good guy. Mike Smith is too, for being here. Hello to you, man. Check out Peter Benton's channel, guys. Got some cool UFO footage recently in a couple of videos in a row. Really proud of him. Mike Smith, thanks for the comments, man, too. Good afternoon to you, Mike. I saw the comments, bro. Saw the beautiful, supportive feedback that you left the channel, and I really thank you for it, man. Thank you so much, you guys. Same to you. I am Kai in the house. Bacon, that's what I'm having after this. Probably a brunch of eggs, potatoes, and bacon to keep my line. Keep my weight. Literally keep the weight. We had a M8, yes, solar blast earlier today. Oh, today didn't even check up with the sun. Very interesting to know. Very nearly an X class and a large M class an hour or so ago, causing R2 moderate radio blackouts. Yep, that's 100% on the sun lit side of Earth. That's very concerning, actually. Just before coming on here, I said, I'm going to go see my sunspots today. See what was going on. So I filmed it yesterday, but I didn't post it because it looked pretty much the same. Oof. Yeah. Okay. Wow. 3102 would be the number that blasted out. We had 3100, 3103, and 3102 right beside each other on the bottom side of the sun facing Earth. Wow. Going to try to get some footage of that for you all later, for sure. I also get sun videos whenever the sun is active. I'll show you things that I catch on the sun or the bright sunspots that are there when they're really, really bad. And at the same time, when, like you said, just had some X-class flare. Let me go back and see that though. Information about what just happened. So the maximum flux the past 2 hours is high. It's still M6.2. Oof. Friday, September 2nd, the coronal hole was facing Earth. And today, guys, 2 now strong. Let me go back. 2 strong M-class solar flares, and like our friend told us, almost X-classes. Very interesting. Today, this is where the good news ends, they say. While it is, of course, nice to see our sun produce strong solar flares, both M7.9 solar flare that peaked at 9:46 UTC time and an M6.2 solar flare and peaked at 15:59 military time UTC time came from sunspot region 3098. Okay, so 3098 isn't a new one. It's one that went by and now it's reacting up. So that's never very good. This sunspot region is currently close to the west limb and will soon rotate out of view. A case of too little, too late. Both solar flare were also rather impulsive, short duration, and the M7.9 solar flare did not launch a coronal mass ejection. Hell of a good thing facing Earth. The M6.2 solar flare that peaked just before we published this article was likely also not, most likely did not launch a coronal mass ejection either. Not a big loss, as any resulting plasma cloud would likely not have been aimed at Earth anyway, so that's good to know. The remaining sunspot regions on Earth facing solar disk are unremarkable and unlikely to produce M or X class solar flares. We can see the arrival of a weak to moderate coronal hole solar wind stream within the next 24 hours, so that's good to know. But geomagnetic storming is not to be expected. So that's a good thing with that. 2 strong M-class solar flares. The sun is so unpredictable, really is so unpredictable. Thanks again, Beth. Thanks, everyone. Now I'm going to scroll down. No, for real. I'm scrolling down this time. I know I always say I will, but I don't. TS911, thank you very much for being here. Sandy Harris here. Did not see her. Thank you. Sarcastic Storage Stacker. During our lives, I use 2 computers and keep YouTube on and StreamYard on the other one. Yes, it'd be so nice having more computers. I would love it. Have you been watching Beyond Mystic lately? Well, yeah, often, but no, not lately. I haven't had any time whatsoever lately, actually. I was supposed to be on for an interview at one point, but he never got back to me. Or, of course, he always gets back to me and it's me that doesn't see it. Happens a lot. It's my fault. My bad. Burns in the house. Thank you so much. Ismael Perez, in my opinion, is a plant. I think he's taken everyone else's information and made up a big story. I get red flags from him. That is the sad part, is that some people, thanks, Beth. I had one person that came here who was telling my community members that Bruce is blind because he only says that there's 3 lines on the surface when there are 5. I talked about these lines in 2018. And people don't remember it. In 2018, I talked about these lines on the surface. But for me, it's not a competition. But that's what people do. People come to see my research. They find the area where I show the structures. Then they go on their channel and they post on their channel and say, well, I found this. Look, I found this on the moon. It's too bad people aren't honest with themselves, but it's okay. People like having the videos on their channel saying, I found that. Okay, so it's a big competition apparently between not the ufologists. It shouldn't be. There should be no competition here. We should be sharing all of our work. We should be interacting together, coming up with conclusions, suggestions. But that's what we do here. We have an incredible channel and community here. Just amazing. Awesome. Back ass words, weird world. Yes, we are. Earth wobble, moon counter wobble. So what's happening? They talk about Earth speeding up faster. If Earth was to speed up faster, now listen, we're talking a lot faster, like 23,000 more miles an hour as to the approximately 1,000 miles an hour. They say the moon's going low. But if that would speed up, it would change everything. Centrifugal force would go outwards. We'd start seeing garbage cans start tipping over. And then, well, the big guys will be last. I'll be the last here to float off of the planet. I'll see all the little people fly up. I'll be grounded for a little extra while. When they get my big ass up into space, it's because it'll be the end of the world, basically. Drunkard. Oh, drunks are welcome here too. Wild Wallaby, welcome to the channel. Thanks, Peter. Bojack in the house. Just know that the light has already won. Yes, absolutely, 100%. We did win this. That's for sure. Bruce, j'ai une super bonne idée pour ta chaîne, mais on doit se parler en privé. Ouais, je passe en cours d'une couple de jours, puis on va être pas mal plus relax après le 20 septembre pour parler de plein de choses. Il y a beaucoup de personnes qui essaient de me rejoindre. I'll keep that in mind, Yann. It could be. It could absolutely be artificial. It's still there. Yep. Tides of the ocean have been strange. 100% been strange. You got areas where the water is high, and you got areas where the water is low and disappearing. Lake Mead, one of the best. I got the hiccups, Bruce. Excuse me. Lake Mead, one of the best examples, where they built the Hoover Dam, and then there's the reservoir, Lake Mead, where the water has always been there. And I went to look at the images of it last year, where you see it branching out, and now it's the same branching out, but it's like really, really thin line. That there, Lake Mead, there is separated between massive states, like 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 states there, where there's millions of people that are depending on that for drinking water. The massive tunnel that's in Lake Mead, the tunnel that's bringing the water to the States, is exposed. You could see the bottom. They found up to 5 bodies. Yeah, you're drinking body water, body juice, guys. That's what they're doing. Imagine that. Your drinking water is filled with bodies. People are like, no, yes. What do you think if they put all those sickening products in the water? Why do you think your shower gets a green spot on it? Mine does all the time. 2-3 days, a green quarter, and then a loony size, and then a baseball size. The fluoride that they're putting into the water. Going to space, Jeff Bezos, Blue Origin, all these people that are trying to bring people up to space for tourism to make money. You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of the Hindenburg. May 1937, if I'm not mistaken, the Hindenburg explosion. You know the big Goodyear like balloons that they used to use up in the air, where it killed most of the people, and the gas was out of there, the hydrogen just burning up, killing people. Well, that's where we're at. We see that the Hindenburg, they're all sitting there in their fancy dresses, totally flammable, big dresses and hats. It's like they're packing. It's like packing in a fireplace with paper to be sure that it starts right and burn. And well, that's how I compare the Blue Origin going to space. We're looking at that go up, and we're going, oh my God, this is so futuristic. Oh my gosh, look, we're such an advanced technology. And then we see it, bottom half crashes down, and then the top comes down with 3 parachutes, and they're saying, oh, well, the safety mechanism's working well. What the hell are we doing out there in space? I don't think we're made to be out there in space. I think, and I know the aliens want us to clean up the planet first. We're going to have to. So, yeah, we're going to see the nuclear plants disappear. We're going to see all that stop, and it could have to do something with the aliens. So, but the U.S. Navy not wanting to declassify anything, it's because they're definitely hiding something. They're hiding something. It's because I think it's them, the UFO lights. Sorry, guys. I think it's the U.S. that are flying around those lights. And that I think by this point, they have other countries that are infiltrated in this organization, whether it be the Galactic Federation or not, whether it's humans or aliens, both together. Now, by this point, the more we advance, the more questions we have about the moon. Do you see that? Everyone's coming to the same conclusion. So we're going to find out if humans and aliens are working together because we're waiting for them to land on the moon. Well, if they land in the southern part of the moon, it could be that they're landing in the southern part, dark part, not to be seen by aliens, and that's why they would go and land there. Why are they landing on Earth side where everyone could enjoy and all the telescopes could watch them land on the surface? It'd be incredible. The former person that was in charge, Mr. Stein, at Bear Stein, I call him, in charge of NASA, said that they're leaving the option open for the NASA, for some of the astronauts to choose some older landing area so they can go back and see what the areas look like. But nope. So you see, I believe that inside of NASA, you have maybe not half, but 3/4 and a quarter. The quarter believe that they're there as astronauts, like for truth and really trying to look for stuff in space. And the other ones are keeping a secret. A very small number are keeping the secrets. And when certain suggestions come up for certain missions, well, we see the higher ups in NASA say, nope, we're not going there. We're going to another area. Why does it change for every president? When the president changes, so does the person in charge of NASA. Yeah, did you know that? Why? Why, when Trump left, they changed the person that was there? Because that person was in coinciding with Trump, with what was going on with Trump. There's a very secretive file that's popping up on the internet, and I have yet to find it myself, but I heard the information is that Dr. Paul something came out with a paper in an article for Trump, or talking about Trump, about the dangers of warp speed on human beings. If they're testing for time travel, and now doctors are starting to talk about warp speed health problems, it's because some of the people that are experimenting physical experiments in time travel are dealing with certain doctors, and the doctors know the effects. They're like scientists. They know the effects of warp speed on humans, but now they don't in general, because they have to accumulate some evidence, right? Some documentation about what happens to people when they are propelling themselves at warp speeds. I don't think the human body is going to be able to overcome this. It can't, because of the amount of atoms in space, and we're made up of atoms. Do you know that we're atomic bombs? We are the biggest atomic bomb that ever existed. Heat up your atoms from inside of you, and you can blow up the world. And this is something true. It's something that scientists know for a fact. So if you're going to be traveling in a time machine, or teleportation, time travel, for me are two different things. Traveling through a time travel machine, all these things are coming back in my head. Like, first of all, you're dead. You go through a time travel machine, you're going to come back soulless. You go through a time travel machine, you're going to come back quantum immortal. You won't be able to die because there's always going to be a jump or a leap every time something happens. And all these things started off as science fiction, and still some of them are myth or science fiction. So it's very hard for people to sit down and have an honest conversation about time travel and talk about facts when everything's supposedly science fiction. Thanks again, you guys. Christopher Rollins in the house. Sarcastic Storage Stacker, thanks again to you. In front of you channel and all the generous contributions, guys. Thank you very much. Hey, thanks, Beth. Thanks in front of you. Yeah, no, listen, he's got a great channel, and his channel is getting big. He's going to be bigger than me soon, if not already. He's getting up there. I don't have much time in watching the channels anymore, but he's a good guy though. It's a channel maybe some of you will appreciate. Riv daughter Jeannette, hey, comment ça va? Hi. Thank you so much, Gate Smasher. What's weird is when you just think stuff and they recommend it immediately in your feed. Back ass words, weird world. Yeah, I was talking about it a month ago. The artificial intelligence. Talking on the phone with my mother the other day about a white wolf, an animal. And when I hung up with her, I still have yet to tell her. I didn't tell her this yet. When I hung up with her, I was presented a werewolf video, and I saw all the links for Teen Werewolf. Listen, guys, this is going way back years, and it was coming out in front of me. Werewolf, white wolf, the story of the white wolf, the story, the myth of the white wolf. AI is listening to you all the time on your phone, on your Apple Watch, on your computer. They're always looking at you. And don't forget, now there's diet apps that you could buy to know how much you're running and your heart rate and all that. Who do you think's looking at that? Them. Them are looking at that. They wanted you all to get electric cars. They screamed out the Americans, the government, to the American people and other countries too, but in general, America, to get electric cars. So now when the power grid goes out, nobody's going to be able to use their cars at all. And all it's going to take for us when we all have electric cars is to shut the power grid off, and that's it. We're too independent. We can drive around with our gas guzzlers, which is not our fault. I don't even worry about the pollution in the atmosphere. I don't even know if that's real anymore, guys. Really don't know if it's real. They talked about the CO2 emissions. That's bullshit. It's absolutely bullshit. We're here, we're alive because of CO2. You're probably not going to believe me, but that's out of the words of a very smart scientist. We are here because of CO2. It's part of our life. The trees, the trees are the ones recycling the CO2 because they breathe it in and it goes into the bark. And we make houses out of that bark. That's all. It was all a good story. Everything was perfectly fine, I have such an incredible problem with not my English friends because they're pretty much awake, but the people I know in England, they're upset about someone, okay, without talking about anyone's death. The Queen is not a Windsor. She made up that name. I hope some of you know it. She's Saxe Coburg Gotha. What is it? Yep, Saxe Coburg Gotha. They changed their names to the Windsors. The Queen, of course, she married Prince Philip, and that was into the Nazi bloodline. Okay, and most English people don't know this, and that is disgustingly sad. They're German, by the way. They're not they're not English. They have no Scottish blood in them whatsoever. The reason why they use the Scottish trimming all around Buckingham Palace, do you know why? Because Elizabeth's mother or father fell in love with an island in Scotland, and they fell in love with their culture. So they brought that culture into Buckingham Palace because they needed an alibi. And it disgusts me that people don't know this. It makes me mad. She's from Germany. My grandfather told me this with what he left me, right? The Queen of Germany is who? All the queens that went by. They're all the queens of Germany. The queen that just went by is also the Queen of Canada. But when I talk to Canadians here, they say there's no more queen here. She was here in 1952 or 1954 to open up the assembly, the courts, and all the palais de justice. Everything we do is all based on, the Queen. And in England, they own an entire world. There's a different representation for the Queen for the English people, and I have the utmost respect for it. For them, it was a sign of stability, and I understand that. So it's very hard to bring up these things that I'm talking about when people say, "Oh, wow, he's bashing English people," but that's so passé. We're not children; we're adults, And we're able to see, you know, look at me in Canada. I'm not going to be insulted if you say Trudeau's an asshole, because he really is. You know, that's how I look at it. The things that they're doing, build back better, is what they all said. Charles, okay, Charles the third, okay, is bringing eugenics. Look up to see what eugenics is. Gonna kill us all. It's horrible. Eugenics. These are evil demon people that are there. So when people insult the Queen or insult Charles, they're not insulting the English people, I assure you. If only some of the English people knew the truth. But in history, we take away some of these truths and we hide them. Yeah, what else? This was a good one. What did he say? Prince Philip, to the German press, okay, before he died, and actually, hold on, this was in 1988. Prince Philip said to the German press that he hopes to be reincarnated as a deadly virus to help with the population problem. King Charles likes to joke a lot about being related to Dracula, Vlad the Impaler, Robert the Bruce. His family tree goes back to Romania's dark and distant past, and he brags about it. He likes bragging about it. That's why he has one foot in England, he says, because we have a stake in the ground from Vlad the Impaler, and he gets good jollies. You know, if you don't know who Vlad the Impaler is, he used to impale people from the butt through the mouth and hang them out all over the yards while they were dripping of blood. And he used to sit down with the table in the middle and have a meal. Uncle. And many generations after, we have Charles, the leftovers. Sorry, but he is a very bad person. We're going to see what he's going to be doing against eugenics. They came out with a way to transform all CO2 emissions the day after the Queen passed away. They admitted this. It's in Chicago, a researcher in a university there that came to the conclusion of being able to transform into a sort of plastic, okay, all the CO2 emissions. Take 6 tons of CO2 emission and to transform it into 1 ton, right? People say, but plastic's no good. It's no good when we throw it in the oceans. Just don't throw it in the oceans. You know, stop throwing plastic in the oceans. We have plastic in our bloodstream. We have plastic not going through our liver. Little particles of plastic. They just found this out. The tuna cans that we buy, inside of that tuna, there's little fibers of plastic. That's all we're doing, you know. Look at the whales when they empty their stomachs, how sad that is. Garbage bags, strings, nets, all of plastic, right? But there doesn't have to be a problem like that. It's the government that polluted all the oceans, not the people. That's disgusting. You're not allowed cleaning a river, eh? I did it with a bunch of friends one day, had this pickup truck. We started emptying out the rusty metal because we wanted our kids to be able to swim in Valleyfield. We started pulling out all these barrels that said toxic waste. They had the, you know, skeleton signs on them and stuff. They used to pour ink back in the river here in Valleyfield during the cotton, when the cotton mill was open, literally cleaning the fabric after it was all dyed in the river and the water that used to run down, you know, the water that people used to drink from. Yeah. Wonder why we're all sick, right? Makes me laugh so much. My grandfather worked for NASA during the moon landings and had his telescopes out and asked me if I wanted to look at the tall buildings on the moon. And I believe that 100%. I thought he was crazy. Like, yeah, my son too at one point thought I was, until I saw your channel. I thank so much. Well, your dad was really telling the truth. And the sad part is that even in the family, sometimes when we mention this, like my family is good now, I think they understand that there really is something on the moon. But at the beginning, there was a lot of speculation, even for me, where people were doubting a lot about what I was showing. And even after having showed it, you know, but there really are buildings on the moon or constructed objects. And the worst of it, it's a simple secret. The way they're hiding it is that everything has the same reflectivity as the surface. So you can't differentiate different hues. It's all that blinding light, the blinding lights around the building, the blinding lights around the mountain, the blinding lights around all the objects on the surface. So it's very, very hard to see the shadows on the surface of the moon. And there are also dark structures that are not shadows. I've proven that. 100%. You see a crater that's shaped like this, and beside it, there's a dark shadow like that. It's not the shadow from the crater, and it's not the sun reflecting on the surface. It's not even a bright celestial object. It has no core, they say. The moon's dead. No. Why, Bruce? Why do we see blue like we see through the moon? Well, maybe because there's a blue sky over the moon. Maybe the moon has atmosphere. And when you're on the moon, maybe in the morning when you get up, when you see the sunrise, because Apollo, I don't remember which Apollo talked about this, but they said they saw the sunrise and they said they saw light scattering. But for 3 years, I said, oh, wow, they saw light scattering. What's light scattering? And then I found out what light scattering was. No biggie. But then I found out that light scattering can't occur on the moon because we're in microgravity. So there's a lot of lies with the way, excuse me, guys. There's a lot of lies with the way smoke and fire interacts on the moon. You have all these facts online, and you go see for yourself. I go see for myself with a telescope, and I see smokes, hazes. Some people told me, Bruce, maybe those explosions, some of them can be storms. Yep. Talked about that, 216, 217. Could be violent lightning storms that are traveling over the surface, and it's raining, literally raining underneath, But it's all real. The moon is really inhabited. I don't know by who, but it definitely is inhabited. Dem, how's it going? Peter, thanks again, bro. Let me get a bit of coffee, anyone? Coffee. The new people that come to this channel, I want you all to know that everything that I'm showing is not trickery. I'm not trying to make fake movies or use programs, It's the real thing. I think that all this research should be out in the media, but I think maybe the reason why it's not in the media is because, well, I don't know why, but it's protecting me. It's probably protecting me to be able to continue to do some of this research. What you gonna do with drunkens? What you gonna do with a drunken sailor early in the morning? Thank you for getting that in my head. Thank you, Julie. In front of you, it's good to be here. Well, I thank you. Add lots on kids. Yes. Listen, yeah. I can't thank you guys enough for the interest that you have in the channel. And if you people weren't coming to see the channel, I would for sure not get those little few subs that come in. It's only because of you guys, you come by and you comment, and I see some of you a lot commenting 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times, and it's like, wow, thank you. People said, well, I'm afraid you're going to feel that I'm a stalker. No, I'm looking for stalkers. That's what I'm looking for. Channel stalkers, you got to love them. I've had some stalkers. I still have some. Same here. Channel just came up. Hidden History, Earth Soul Trap. Thank you very much. Absolutely. Yeah, there you're talking about one, Andrew. CSIS, and I know some people from CSIS. For those who don't know, well, CSIS is the Canadian spy agency. Canadian spies is deaths watching probably many other agencies for national security reasons. Probes, RCMP as well. 100%. The RCMP, I'm stupid ass Bruce calls up the RCMP when I'm having problems being harassed by John Lear, a retired CIA agent that told me that if I don't tell him how I got the moon, I'm going to see what's going to happen to me. Do you know that, guys? You know that I shut my mouth for 6 years here while people come by and say, well, I listen to John Lear. Yeah, I know. Everyone, it's like a game of Clue, and everyone that's around me is to harm me. So we've seen people come into the community here that were the nicest people, and they've turned and attacked us, incredibly. So everyone is like a suspect. here in general. It's like we're playing in a game of Clue, where we're trying to find out if it's Colonel Mustard um, with the candlestick in the library. How did the murder happen? That's how Bruce Sees All channel is here. People have evil intentions that come here. People have incredibly good intentions that come here. Amazing, authentic people. We have liars that come here. People trying to harm people. And I want you all to understand one thing. Please take note that some people on this channel do go to your channels is because they really want to support your channel and say hello, because I'm telling people to go to your channels. But in general, those of you that are very supportive here, either monetarily or just in comments, if you're here a lot, I want you to notice the people that are going to come from this channel to go to your channel, and to be careful. If they email you and ask you any information, do you happen to have Bruce's number? I'm trying to reach him. You get a lot of people that do a lot of stupid things and attack some of the people that support this channel. But I think we're coming, the pimple's coming to a head. Now, FBI just got caught, guys. I mean, I probably can't even talk about this. FBI in contact with Russian intelligence and a person that's in Russia, and then they paid them to cause problems in the elections and stuff. It's all coming out. The FBI just got caught paying Russian informants to do some shit against the elections back in the day. And that is big news. It came out 2 days ago. Why isn't main media talking about it? Starts off with Alex Jones, then you hear Project Veritas that talks about it. And if you don't know Project Veritas, check it out. I have a Veritas written at the bottom of my videos, mostly all the time, but it has nothing to do with Project Veritas, because somebody asked me that last week. Nope. Has nothing to do with them. I've been posting Veritas since 2016. Veritas is just quite simply a word in Latin that means truth. And that's why I post the Veritas, because obviously, you know, the military and stuff, all the slogans that they have is basically all in Latin. People don't know, you know, you see one community and they have a little slogan, "On re toga," and you go, what the hell's that? Latin, the first language that the Pope speaks. And the Pope is supposed to speak 8 languages, but Papa Francesco doesn't speak 8 languages. He speaks, I think, Italian and Latin. That's about it. I don't even think he doesn't speak English at all. But I would say so, Andrew. CSIS, the Canadian Spy Agency, in accordance with the space station and everything. You know, MUFON, and listen, I know a lot of MUFON researchers, and I'm sure they probably don't like it when I talk about this, but I think they know themselves, the people researching as investigators for MUFON. You know, they're with the government in reality. The government goes and gets everything at MUFON that they're sharing, which in a way is the way the civilian sightings can get to the Pentagon so that they can see certain things. I know for a fact that they saw my captures. I was invited at an assembly, an international assembly. It was televised at the same time. Space Force, Pentagon, US government was there. And I wasn't they did not pass my video. The video started. We heard, "Hi, I'm Bruce Schwartz," and it cut off. And I have that live, never bragged about it, didn't, you know, I want people to see, and like the comment I got, amazing comment the other day. People said, Bruce is here to show truth. He's not here to show off. He's not here to tell people that he's better than the others. And it's really true. I'm not, right? But honored that I got contacted by John Lear, and honored that I got contacted by, you know, MUFON in several countries, the directors themselves. Telephone communication with someone to hook me up with a MUFON director. So that happened, and I didn't go and brag about it or blab about it, and I just let things go, because I want them to see, the people that are interacting with me, that I'm not here to do a show and to say, well, yes, my show, but I'm not here to show off that I'm interacting with the higher ups. You all know that what I caught on the moon is totally, totally revealing, and that it's totally top secret. And you know, it's not because I'm a genius that I got it. So I'm just quite simply taking the time to look on the moon, and I have some good techniques, of course. Now, after 6-7 years, at one point, I can say that I'm studying in astronomy and in ufology, which is all I've ever said. I don't have any papers that say that I'm a ufologist, and if I did, I probably wouldn't be allowed to be talking to you all about what's going on right now. Love you, Grandpa. Grandpa's clock is ringing. You want somebody to think of you? Send them a gift. When they send you, you send someone a gift that makes noise. Every time they hear that noise, they're going to think of you. That's what I do. Think of my grandfather every time. But what if they just are telling us no stuff and it is just a cause, right? We will get confused. Absolutely. You're Jeanette, you're absolutely right. Absolument raison. You have absolutely right. You're absolutely right about that. How to screw up the truth is all you have to do is integrate a little bit of a lie, something that sounds really, really convincing. And that's what they've been doing, right? Look at when the UFO report came out. I'm a little disappointed because when the UFO report came out, I started getting more confused. I started thinking, well, maybe it's not aliens now. Maybe it's China. Maybe it's Russia, all those lights. Maybe it's both. It's both. You got aliens and you got humans in UFOs. Whether biological UFOs exist or not, I don't know. But by this point, yeah, it sounds silly, but I'm one that believes that there are space creatures. Since we don't know what they are, I call them space jellyfish. Like we're surrounded by a clear ocean and we have these jellyfish flying around in ocean. STS-75 mission, the tether incident, proves that there's biological life in space. STS-48, a couple videos back that got up to 20,000 views here, proves that there's life in the atmosphere of the moon. And that was with NASA footage. I'm really happy that I was able to share that one. STS-48 mission. It's a very rare hush-hush mission. There's not any footage about it anywhere. I was lucky to fall upon that footage. Sometimes I have inside sources, which has always freaked me out. Somebody comes by, hello, and they email me and they tell me that they're my source and they send me some stuff. And I look at some of the stuff. Some of the stuff is legit. So I like sharing that when I see some incredible things. But everything's smoke and mirrors, Everything is smoke and mirrors. Mandela effects are possibly real, I believe. Time traveling cannot be good. How would time and space be affected by people traveling through time? So, me, that's where I'm at. I'm having a hard time believing that we can time travel. Or maybe that's what's affecting all the moon and everything by people time traveling. And time traveling for what? Right? Have you ever heard of the chronovisor? CHRONO, like a chronometer? Chronovisor, VISOR. Inside of the Vatican archives, apocalyptic archives, if I'm not mistaken, in the basement, temperature regulated rooms, locked, guarded. They have the chronovisor, which is like a magic mirror if you want, but it really isn't something you can go through, but it's something that you can see and visualize the past. Now, there are some priests at the Vatican and some highly placed people that wrote books about this and have said, including the Vatican, that the chronovisor existed, that they dismantled it so that no one would take possession of it to change the future. Okay, so now we ask ourselves, and I don't know why we ask ourselves this, but some people do. How come the Vatican has a big telescope, infrared telescope? It's in the States, but it's still theirs. How come the Vatican has access to all these files and about the Bible, these secret files and stuff? I say the one who owns the time machine will be the one who will be in charge of the world, right? If you have access to knowing the future and everything. So what they could have done is taken this chronovisor apart, grabbed two of the pieces, and let's see, spontaneously remote viewing, I don't know. They could have put them in a sarcophage, inside of a sarcophage, buried beside the head of some important Egyptian god or king that died. And maybe it was dismantled for good. Maybe it's not dismantled and they're using it. There's many levels and tunnels apparently in the bottom of the Vatican that would apparently go to some very secretive areas. My most recent searches this week, I've been looking at the Montauk Project, and some information has come up of the Montauk Project very recently in some declassified ads documents, some declassified documents on the blackvault.com. If you want to know everything about what's being declassified and what we are declassifying with the Freedom of Information Act in the States, do go to the blackvault.com and look at all the by the way, it's under paranormal. Did you know that? Want to look up about UFOs? Paranormal. So the UFOs have a lot to do with the paranormal. I've been saying it for a year. You guys know it. Those here for a while have heard me say that. Paranormal, ufology, it's the same field. It's just branches of the same field where there's entities in the atmosphere around Earth. There's entities maybe on the moon. There's entities here appearing in our homes and old houses and whatnot. So sometimes we're over ley lines, lots of mysterious things that can happen. But they're definitely, Boo Crew, hello. They are hiding some information that they're trying to keep it really private. And I don't know why they're doing that. There's something that they don't want us to know. Do you not wonder why China isn't leaking out what's going on in the States and the States isn't leaking out what's going on in China? Because they're all together. It's one world order to build back better and for their own means, not our means. It's not for us. They want to build back better for them. Guess not. Bruce, have you seen the UFO reports in Kiev? Yes, I have. I've seen some that they've been seen all over in Ukraine, the UFOs. So is it aliens that are watching what's going on? Are they part of this? Is it China that has access to these UFOs? So that's what it comes down to. Is it an adversarial country? Is it a foreign country that's doing all these attacks? For those that have not had the time to get into and listen to all the UFO reports, don't worry about it. The gimbal, the fast mover. There's 3 UFO videos that were leaked. Jeremy Corbell, again, another film producer. Linda Moulton Howe talks a lot about, but she's a film producer also. We have Stanley Kubrick, but he's a film producer also. He used to do some NASA stuff. So NASA's really close to the film producers in Hollywood, if you look at that in many ways. Maybe the landings, were faked. We have Buzz Aldrin saying that they didn't go the way they showed the public, that they also said he didn't go because they weren't ready to go. The world was not ready to go to the moon or to see what was up there. So you see Neil Armstrong comes back, and then he's with all these, Freemasonry associations and stuff, and he leaked some story about a golden library, which are books made out of gold with alien scriptures that are on it and stuff. So he, at the beginning saying, we went to the moon and punched the guy. I think it was it Buzz or the other one, or was it Neil? One or the other that punched someone in the nose, maybe Buzz or whatever. They were paid to shut up, obviously, and they were forced not to say a bloody word about what was on the moon. But you have all these astronauts saying, we saw lights, we saw them on the edge of the craters, we see, smokes and hazes. One Apollo mission, the astronauts said that they saw light scattering on the moon. Guys, light scattering cannot happen. There's no combustion process, they say, on the moon because it's microgravity. Combustion is on Earth. The combustion proof is when you look at a fire, and the fire, all these fire flames that are going up that come to a little point, it's the oxygen reacting with the oxygen in the air. Well, the fire looks the same on the moon. When it's reacting in the air, we see smokes, hazes. If there was smoke on the moon and it was microgravity without any gravity, we would have pill forms of smoke. So maybe those domes that we supposedly see everywhere that are oscillating could be those smokestacks that are, the smoke is staying round. It could be that could be. But when you look at the whole moon, it doesn't make sense. I've shown fire on the moon. There's not supposed to be any fire in space. It's different. Everything's different. Explosions are different in space. The fire is dimmer. You light a lighter up on the moon where you're going to see a very low blue flame, but it can go for a longer time because the flame is pulling in less oxygen, and it can burn for long periods of time, but you just don't have the heat, right? But all these things that don't come in the moon, don't come in the news, you have to research for yourself. And, if you're like me, I'm not a genius. So when it comes to particle physics and physics, I'm very careful with what I bring here as information because I'm no mathematician. But a little bit of research, a lot of research, but a little bit of research in the basic laws of physics, just that will blow your mind because you're going to say, but I only know a little bit about physics, but that would be impossible if they did that in the moon. That would be impossible if they did that in the moon. And that's why they're not afraid of me. At the beginning, Bruce was just showing what he was seeing on the moon, but I didn't have a theory. Well, I did, but I was just blowing smoke out my butt. But now, theorizing and not just assuming, talking about facts about smoke and how smoke and fire interacts in microgravity and showing complex videos with a 14-inch telescope, they're not going to appreciate that. They're going to try to, hide the channel. So can't thank you all enough for being here right off the bat. My Haunted Life, thanks for becoming a member, my friends. Sandy Harris, how's it going? Check out Julie's channel. Bruce, what the hell's wrong? Bruce, who do you think is on the moon? Tony D. I have no idea. I think humans can be there. And now here's the thing. It would be humans that are not living here on Earth or that travel to and from Earth. What is the best way to hide an alien on the moon? Make them look like a human. If a human comes to Earth, you just see a moon guy comes to Earth, changes his clothes, gets rid of all his technology, and walks around, with a black hoodie on. No one's going to think anything of it. When Valiant Thor came from Venus, again, people say it's myth or not myth. I'm not hiding that. I talked about wormholes in the last video. Myth, science fiction, right? It's still there. We're still dealing with wormholes and portals being science fiction. But a vortex can be created, right? To send someone somewhere. And I think that that's possibly what's happening. That it's not the wormholes that are always there that we call wormholes, which is just a way using wormholes to try to understand what to visualize what that would look like. And obviously worms making holes, an ant, ant farms, all the lines they make, that's the ideal of how everything's branched out in space. I believe that there are a whole bunch of branched out tunnels that you can travel all over the universe, but they've probably never been discovered. But they don't have to, because we can bend time. And by bending space and time, we're cutting through the universe. We're jumping. We're actually leaping from one point to another. And we're not doing the whole trajectory to go through space. It's something very hard to understand. But Bob Lazar, I remember that. And I know the ones that follow me are probably going to get sick of hearing it. This is the universe. And we're here. Earth is here. And we want to get to Andromeda. Well, we bend space and time. And then we line up the 2 points on the bottom of the page. There's no distance between them. That's the distance we got to travel to get to the end of the universe, because we're bending space and time. But what effect does a warp speed and bending space and time have on a human being? That is where we're at. It's humans can't travel fast. We can't travel Mach 20, Mach 30. Every bone in our body will crush. We're going to look like that blob guy on Star Wars. That's a reality. The atoms in our body at a certain speed, we can manage low speeds and still high enough speeds. We can travel at 100,000 kilometers an hour, probably, or 50,000 kilometers an hour. But can we travel at 500,000 kilometers an hour? Probably not. It's going to be a little problem. You can only imagine your face in the bench. There's no way in hell that anyone's going to be able to do that. But I get a lot of smart people that come here and they tell me, well, Bruce, you're not talking about inertia because it's not the same. The inside, it flows in a vacuum or not. It's so interesting. A fly in your car. You're walking around, you're driving around in your car. There's a bloody fly that got into the car and you're going like that. Damn it, swatting it in the back. While you're driving down the road, that fly is in your car. It's going up and down, landing on the seat. Why doesn't he miss the seat? Why isn't that seat going 100 kilometers an hour past him? Inertia, closed vacuum. Depends where we are. So maybe there's a technique where we could travel at high speeds like that, but I highly doubt it. We see them go up and down like 80,000 feet into the sky and then 20,000 leagues into the ocean. It's probably not humans that are doing that. And if it is, well, we're doing experimentation from something that we back engineered, hundreds of years ago, maybe not that long ago. Got to wonder. That's right, Bojack. I've no doubt in my mind. I think our military from around the world have bases on the moon, and I personally believe that we work with ETS up there. I believe it 100%. The group of aliens that we're working with are obviously very human-like, right? And then Star Hunter, thanks a lot. I appreciate that. So thank you for the amazing comments, my friends. Thanks so much, my haunted life. Yeah, that's a good one, Beth. But the military, I believe that they're there too. All the gates that Laura Eisenhower spoke about when they were talking about the story of Valiant Thor, the man who came here from Venus. It's a very hard to believe story also sometimes because they landed on the ground. They held up their guns, the military. They pointed at the craft where a human guy came out and said, "Hey guys, I have to speak to your leader." Bring me to your leader. Literally like in the movies with what happened. But there is a connection where we're working with other beings for sure. It's just that, why do you think there are gates? So anyways, yes, Laura Eisenhower, which is the President Eisenhower's great granddaughter, who is now speaking about there being gates around Earth. But now the gates that are around Earth, do you know what that means? Wherever there's a gate in space, there's a giant base on Earth operating it. So how many gates do we have? And when people talk about gates, we tend to look up in the sky looking for gates. The gates are on the surface. Everything's controlled by the surface. That's why military Space Force very recently talked about them being so paranoid and upset about the possibilities of getting their satellites hacked and get their launches hacked. Everything's being used on a computer. Everything's computer-based and program-based. So malware, they said, infiltrations in the computers and stealing passwords and everything. It's a big possibility and problem that they have. Do you have any idea how many attacks every single day that the governments in the United States just alone blow off? Like 300 to 700 probably a day, continual attacks where people are trying to tap into our system in the West all the time. It's very scary stuff. Sandy's Harris, they're pretty much all decent. Any way you want to look at it. Depends what you want to look at too. If you want to look at stars, I suggest you get with a remote. A good telescope, 4 inches and 3/4. My telescope, my first one, my Celestron one, Maksutov Cosgrain. It was a beautiful Celestron telescope that just about under 5 inches. You get a 5-6 inch telescope. You might pay Canadian, anyways, a bit over $1,000. You're gonna have to get either a solar imager, but that's only 1 to 5 to 10 megapixels. Your best bet is to get a DSLR camera to put it in the back of it. But if you want to film the moon, some people can go and just get a $200 telescope, like an Astromaster, which I also have here. It's a very Galileo-like telescope. It's a simple tube, but it's the moving, unlocking and relocking every time you align. If you're looking at the moon, you don't have a problem. If you're looking at a star, you're going to hate viewing a star without a remote. But I really don't know what to suggest. There's the Celestron is an expensive telescope. You don't have to have a Celestron telescope. You can grab a Meade. I don't like Meade myself. It's, there's different companies and there's different prices and stuff. The more you pay for a telescope, the more quality you have. For a telescope, that's how it works. If you buy a telescope that's really cheap and inexpensive, well, you're going to get very cheap and inexpensive quality in the telescope. But I suggest for you to have fun and to view what's in the sky, 4 or 5 inches, 6 inches. Whoa, like you're right up there, right up there. And you're going to have a hell of a nice time viewing also. I know, sarcastic storage stacker. Sorry for answering so late. They just won't let you get to 100K, will they, Bruce? It's taking so long. People that were here 2 years ago said, well, excuse me, guys. People here 2 years ago said, Bruce, next Christmas you'll be at 100,000K and come back. You're still not there. Nope. Bruce, next year you'll be at 100,000K. Next summer you'll be at 100,000K. Nope. Doesn't go up. They lock me. They don't want me going up. They keep me from going up. Solar head in the house. Hope Scotland gets independence. Listen, I really hope so, guys. I'm praying for you, my Scottish friends down there so much. Everything that's happening. You know, the Queen literally took your culture. That's what she did. The Windsors, we'll call ourselves Windsors, when they were really Saxe-Gotha-Coburg. You know, the Gothic era came from Victoria, Queen Victoria. That's the Goth. And all the people, the Goth people that we see today, it's all from that dark era. That's why people buy things and with antiques, they buy Gothic eagles. You got Gothic statues. You got Gothic this and Gothic that. Such an incredible story that's right so close beside us that everyone can get informed about. But for some reason, everyone pushes away the people trying to bring out truth. The whistleblowers are being hunted, stalked, and taken down by regular people around them. The government doesn't even have to get involved. They're being passed off as liars. So does mind control exist? It does. We're going to be hearing a lot about the Montauk Project and what happened. Do you know that most of the people that are at the Montauk Project going back to the old buildings to look around and take images of what happened there are actually all people that actually were involved in the Montauk Project? I heard a very scary story come up the other day on a channel that was talking about that. One guy went there and said, what the hell happened here? And the guy, and this is real, the guy answers him, well, you must know you were in charge of the Montauk Project. Some people, some military personnel stayed there and lived there in tents, like poor people at one point. It was very hush-hush about the Montauk Project and what happened. Traveling through time, the Philadelphia Project. Apparently from the Philadelphia Project, you got to look into that one. That was an incredible one. There's more truth to that than they said that there wasn't. And the guy that was in the project, there's two brothers, Edward and Edwin or something like that, that apparently were sent into the future, into today's time, but is declaring having been that younger soldier that was on the Philadelphia Project. The project was said to have been a project that was not successful when the boat reappeared, but in reality, they were able to get the boat in the Philadelphia Project. This is recent information, guys. No, probably didn't hear this yet. The boat, it's because of a problem of something electrical that crashed on the is it the Edinburgh? Whatever the name is of the boat. I think it is the Edinburgh. So on that boat, something crashed, a digital device, operational device stopped functioning, and one or two of those guys jumped into the water and apparently would have got back up after having jumped in the water to go back on to fix what was on the boat, because they would have known that by traveling into the future. So get this. They travel into the future, okay? So while they're disappearing on this Philadelphia Project boat, they already remember everything that had went on in the past. They were already in this time traveling experiment. So they jump in the water, and when they jumped in the water, they already knew because they had already traveled to time, that it was a problem in the boat. So they tried to apparently go into the boat to fix it. I think they sent back people in another experiment afterwards to redo that experiment, but to have somebody go through a time machine to go and change that operational electrical circuit on the boat so that things would work. Something happened during the experiment, whether it was deliberate or not. But we're talking about time travel. Listen, they just existed that time travel. The Pentagon are doing experimentation on that with your money, tax money. So yes, I do believe in portals, and I believe that it's possible to travel through time. Maybe not any human has done it successfully and come back naturally. Who knows how many mice, sheep, rats, whatever the hell they're going to send into time and analyze coming back. How many years are we going to go through to do that before we actually send someone, in a time machine? I think it's already been done. Pretty sure it's already been done. Tony D in the house. And Mike Smith, thanks a lot, brother. Casa Nostra's here. Shoot all the cartel members before borders come down. Yeah, not gonna mention that, but you're not gonna see me say it. But anyways, you're a smart guy, Casa Nostra. That's dangerous. I'm not even gonna get into that. Not gonna say it. They're taking over the states. I'll tell you what, Casa Nostra. I had an enlightening vision the other day. I have a lot of them, and it's a real enlightening vision. I was floating over the states, and it's not that long ago, like 20, 30 years from now. And you'll see that I was right when it happens. The USA will consist of Black American people and Mexican people. Those are the only people that are going to be in the US in a couple of years. Not going to see anyone else. Not going to see white people there. Not going to see anyone else. The blacks and the Mexicans are going to fight inside of the country. That's what's going to take the country down. And this is something that open borders like that. I mean, they're dropping off immigrants in front of the vice president's house, right? Harris. They're dropping immigrants off at Obama's island, by the way. Did you hear that one? So who's doing that? Why are they bringing in like tens and tens of thousands of people inside of the country? It is crazy. It's destroying the country. They were able to come in without any vaccinations or anything. Anyways, I won't get into it because they'll probably shut me down. But boy, that pisses me off. People coming in, from Mexico got UN cards, like bank cards, a whole bunch of clothing. And anyways, really weird. What do you think the chances are of currency switching to silver, gold, and backed Bitcoin? Was talking about that a day ago or two ago with some family members. I believe they're going to change it up. I'm afraid before 2023. Hopefully we'll make it to the beginning of 2023 before they do that, but I believe they're going to do that. I don't know what's happening with Bitcoin. I don't know how that's going to wager out. Bitcoin is like it's a real big gamble. Some people became rich with it. Some people got poor with it, right? I don't know what the government is going to permit as for Bitcoin. We're talking about digital currencies. Basically, currency will be a little gadget you're going to have here in your arm all the time, integrated in your arm. You're going to be able to go up to things. Yeah, $20, beep. You want a drink? Here you go, beep. Want a drink? That's what they're going to do. You'll be able to have your bank card in your arm. You'll be able to have your movies and DVDs in your right arm. Oh, yeah, I'm telling you. Maybe your recipes will be stored in your cheeks. That's what they're trying to make out of us. They're trying to, with success, bringing the human being and building a human being, part human, part computer. That is exactly what they're doing to us. Neuralink, we see Elon Musk talking about Neuralink putting bloody SD cards in the head to manipulate brain waves. So when a pig is acting, bring the levels down, the pig will be like, if that doesn't concern you, it sure does concern me. So everyone has electric cars. and everyone has injections and everyone's controlled with the Neuralink and stuff like that, it would take seconds for the government to shut an entire world down. It would take away our rights, our freedoms of speech. It would take away our strength at the same time, because don't forget, it's the other way around. The governments are afraid of you. It shouldn't be the other way around. We have nothing to fear from them. They're manipulating the military and the police, but that's going to change too. Why are so many head of police quitting? Ottawa, the whole bloody, all of them in Ottawa, including the one that was in charge, okay, quit. The next day, they had this asshole that was there in Ottawa. He's still there, same big asshole, saying that any illegal protesting, you'll be arrested and the bank accounts are going to be friggin' blocked and stuff like that. Protesting is legal, not illegal. It's legal to protest. And the way they did it in Canada with freaking barbecues, and they have these guys going around in four-wheelers during the protests, begging people not to put garbage on the ground. Anyone that was throwing junk on the ground was being bothered by the protesters. Kids were out there having field days on the grounds of Ottawa. Yeah, but that's how it is. We live in Canada is so corrupt now with what, I wish we were like the States. I wish we had elections here every year. We don't. It's every 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10,000 years that we have elections here. So Trudeau's here to stay for a while, unless he gets assassinated or something like that. But that's something, we're not going to depend on that to happen. Vladimir Putin assassination attempt hit his front wheel of his limousine. Nobody is talking about it. It's hush hush. The Kremlin is not talking about it, but Putin himself has admitted to having 5 terror attacks, assassination attempts. This would be the number 6. Lucky number 7. That's what I say. Hello, beautiful souls. Thank you so much. Boo Crew again, thanks for being here. Guys, really want to thank you all so much for the amazing support and everything you do to help this channel get ahead. Exactly. You wouldn't see me up there, Beth. Rickety tin cans. You're absolutely right about that one. Yes, bring back Led Zeppelin. I'll tell you what. Now, I would. I'll tell you what, Led Zeppelin, if I had a time machine, that's what I'd do. I'd go back and bring Jim Morrison, Janis Joplin, Jimi Hendrix, bring them all back. They're not going to last for long. Give them a couple of months, they'll be back off on the drugs. But is there any reality on those stories of the drugs and the way they were, you always hear of someone slitting their wrists in the bath, or somebody dying on a toilet bowl like Elvis, which he didn't die in a toilet bowl. He's not even dead. A lot of people don't know that. There's different realities in the world where some people have woken up. Some people are already like, I can't believe Elvis is still alive. This is absolutely incredible. You got some people saying, I miss the king. Why? Why don't we want to get along like that? It's so funny. Yeah, I'm still praying on the day for us all to get along and to turn around and to friggin' piss off that government's going to flip out. Like during January 6th, what should have happened is whites and blacks should have grabbed their shoulders and hands and said, we will overcome, and just say, screw the government. You're not going to make us fight. And bullshit lies about saying that January 6th, that something happened at the Capitol. The MAGA extreme terrorists. How degrading to call 75 million Americans extreme terrorists. Got an old lady that was arrested, I heard, in the States, an older lady. Not an old lady, forgive me. An older lady, but she was old enough. Too old to be in jail, for Pete's sakes, almost 70 years old. Well, and they put her in jail because she was at the January 6th Capitol. Come on. It's ridiculous what they're doing. There's still people in jail in the States and in Canada after those protests. They're still in bloody jail. Really don't know what's going to happen. Like when I was in Austin, Texas, and they were looking for a body in Lake Travis. The water supply, never found it. Yuck. I know. It's horrible. All the stuff that's in there. And the people dying, like since the 80s and 70s, most likely. It wasn't the same around Lake Mead and that end of the world. there wasn't a lot of traffic in the 80s going in that end. It was like a dead end road. No, not dead end road, but it was a dead desert road that, unless you had something to do there, you were going, but if not, you weren't going to go. It was a blast at Hoover Dam just a couple of weeks ago. They didn't talk about that happening either. Casa Nostra, you said it, man. Buy a water distiller for drinking water. Absolutely right. Yeah, distilled water. Have you ever tried distilled water? Oh, I had problems drinking it. It tastes bad, but there's no taste. It's the water we're drinking has a taste, and we're used to it. But yeah, distilled water to live. That's all we have to do to live. It's that simple. Buy a water distiller for drinking water and learn at the same time how to transform salt water into drinking water. You could do it with a mud stove and a tube, guys, a pipe. I've seen that done. That I was so happy to see that. Said if ever you're stuck on an island and you have to drink water, you can boil and distill and make the vapor go up through another tube into the other side, and you'll be able to drink your water. Not everybody knows that. When things go down, the internet disappears. People are not going to know what the hell that they have to do. That's for sure. Good pour après le 20 septembre. Anyways, il y a pas rush tout ce que je... Ouais, absolument, Yann. Yes, sir, man. Ça pourrait être plus lucratif pour ta chaîne et plus d'attirer un plus grand nombre de viewers. Absolument. Oui, je te remercie. Yeah, it's not going to happen. The views to this channel are limited because of what I found. That's 100% for sure. But they're letting a lot of people come back to the channel to watch it, so I'm really happy for that. Absolutely, Beth. Most of the craft that we're seeing probably. Earth is going, says Gate Smasher, through a stage that we were once in before. I believe it. It's a recurring cycle. Yep. Realms are appearing in ours. Portals are coming, and ships and other things are coming through. That is something just scary as hell, like you said. So we're in a transition of something 100%. We're definitely in the transition. And we're seeing the opening of the gates or portals that are around Earth. The other side is opening up, is connecting to this side, where there's not going to be another side, where there's going to be one world order, one universal order. But it's scary stuff. Thanks, Gate Smasher. Cindy, how's it going? Thank you so much for being here. Appreciate that. Tommy Langley, thanks again, man. Thanks for the comments and everything, brother. The Tic Tac is definitely our own. Thanks for sharing that. I would believe that too. Pretty sure the Tic Tacs are us. And if I'm not mistaken, Russia, right? I think they said that it was. I'm not sure, but yes. I was just hearing that the other day, the Enki. Lots of words, that the people don't really understand. And even myself, Elohim, it's the superior ones, the Elohim, also the Enki. Our DNA to our true DNA, we need balance. Heard Enki is going to write our DNA. That'd be something beautiful, eh? So we know that they're manipulating our DNA and our immune systems over a long period of time, but now they're going all out. Maybe because they know that they're here now, Sugar Bee. If they know that the aliens are here, they're going to maybe have more war or try to kill us off. As a matter of fact, maybe the UFOs back in the days that said they were here viewing the Hiroshima bombs and everything, maybe it's not just after that happened that they came here, the aliens. Maybe they were here to witness it because they knew it was going to happen. A lot of you, like me, say that the rulers of this earth, if there really are aliens ruling this earth, and they're really already here. So absolutely. So the connection of what's going on outside of Earth is often easily explained with those, with the aliens that are most likely explaining and can probably talk English, would change a lot of stuff. Thank you so much, Julie. Thanks, you guys, for coming by. We had an amazing stream today, by the way. When was the last time that aerospace sector came out with new flight technology? The 80s or 90s with the F-35 Raptor. That is scary as hell. You're absolutely right about that. So basically, they're coming out with all of this technology and not telling us, because there's not much in history, right? Got the Wright brothers. It came out with their paper airplanes. And then after that, they made the Boeing planes to go up, some dude or chick crossed the ocean. Big whoop. And then after that, we're not advanced, Andrew. Like I said, even look at way back when they invented the television, black and white television, little tiny box in this big ass machine. How can we advance that? Well, make a bigger screen, take less room in your house, because we want to sell them more objects. We're thinking, wow, this is so futuristic. That's nothing futuristic. It's technology that has been here for thousands of years. Do you believe that? Telephone, electric lines, TV, it's been here for thousands of years. That has been invented so freaking long ago. Okay. The Egyptians wouldn't be surprised inside of their Egyptian tombs if there wasn't the cable antenna on top with, a television for when he wakes up too, because they probably had cable back then also. I believe the ancient civilizations were far more advanced than we are today. If we're looking and digging up archaeological sites and in archaeology to find out what the hell we're doing here, and to find out that they had advanced ancient technology, well, for sure, some people are going to say, wow, maybe they were visited by aliens way back in the day. As a matter of fact, I believe they were. And I think it's pretty obvious that every 50, 100, 300, 600 years, they're going to continue to come back continually to check up on us. They don't have to come back to check up on us. That's the funny part. People saying that, Bruce, aliens, they're here to eat us. They're eating us. They're grabbing humans, to friggin' feed their. If they made us, do you think they're going to come get us after because they made us for a lunch? They're going to make an intricate, detailed, perfectly made human being, almost perfect, with a lot of flaws, but you know what I mean, just to eat them? I don't believe that. I have a hard time understanding where the hell our water is going when there's a lot of ice melting. It should be the opposite. We should be seeing rivers rise, and it's all deliberate. Lake Mead is cut off. They're going to let it go down. It's because the politicians are not doing F all to keep it going. Politicians, many of us hate them, but a lot of the politicians are the reason why, we're okay today, for everything they're trying to pull out, to the people, to have them doing and changing. Absolutely average. Thanks for being here. And again, guys, yeah, I looked at that. That went up too. Operation Warp Speed. Another thing, people don't realize that the atoms in our body, once they start really traveling, like what happens to an atom when it's traveling at 100 million miles an hour? It's going to explode. Well, we'd explode too if we're driving around that fast. But I like the projects that are coming out. They're talking a whole bunch. There's too much that the Black Vault and a whole bunch of channels, not channels, but a whole bunch of whistleblowers are bringing out. It's just absolutely crazy that we're finding out all these things. I want to thank each and every one of you for being here. If you're new to the channel, thanks for taking the time to subscribe. Don't forget, it's 3:00 now. In 5 hours at 8:00 Eastern time, 8 p.m., I'll be doing another stream. I'm going to double check to see what's new on the news. And we'll again interact about everything and anything that we're trying to talk about. All the flying triangles, stealth bombers, tech advances ain't being publicly displayed like the TR-3B. Absolutely. And don't forget that TR-3B, remember the image was taken 10 years before that it was declassified. The government did not want to declassify the things. So that's why I'm praying that at one point they'll declassify what I'm capturing on the moon, because we will have gone through this. But I'm still afraid if the U.S. Navy says they are not declassifying anything about UFOs anymore, it's because they're hiding it as long as they can. With the Freedom of Information Act, we will have a lot declassified. So head over to the blackvault.com. I have no collaboration with that guy, but it's where most of us researchers are getting a lot of information there. Over 3 million documents and files from the government that are leaked, declassified, They talk about everything from the assassination of presidents all the way to, paranormal cases and stuff. Everything that is filmed in the sky that is a unique capture and has not reoccurred several times, it's considered UFO data. Military ufologists, the data is where something is seen once and they don't talk about it after. It's just kept in a data bank. But in reality, what they don't want, even though they say they do, what they don't want the Pentagon is for someone, an amateur special like me, to be able to have reoccurring captures in the same areas like on the moon. That right off the bat, they were probably happy because they probably said he's showing so much truth on the moon that no one's going to believe him. They're going to say that, why aren't big telescopes seeing this? But most of you are awake and understand that the big telescopes are paid to shut up, and they have no reason to, hey, I was working on my big telescope today and I saw this big ass UFO fly by. Of course, they're talking to that about, they're the center of attention at all parties. Everyone has a cool uncle or something that worked at NASA that talks about little things that don't reveal anything, but they're just cool people. That's how it is. Everything's hush hush and hiding. Most of the secret projects have to remain hidden for 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 100 years. And then they're revealed afterwards. So what we're going through today, well, in 2150, it's all going to be revealed. They're going to say, oh yeah, they faked the COVID. They were trying to kill them off. And then some country like Russia built a UFO. They bombed America. And then all of a sudden they went to the moon. It'll all come out. It's all going to come out, but it's from generation to generation to generation. We're finding out what our grandparents didn't know about the Montauk Project, about the Philadelphia Project, what happened on the moon. It's all being found out now 50, 60 years after. So you have to wonder why. Ladies and gents, thank you so much for being here. And of course, impossible for me to answer all the comments, but next stream, I'm going to be a bit more focused on answering everyone's comments. And we'll talk about some more interesting things. I'll check out the news and space news and to let you all know what's going on, see if there's any more information about what Congress is going to say about the anomaly. Imagine if the anomaly that happened with Blue Origin's New Shepard, New Shepard. Don't you find that they're talking about like in the Bible? All the names that we're giving things, all names of stuff and gods in the Bible and stuff. Go look at the Bible today and start reading it and pretend it's a science book. It'll scare you. Okay? Everything they're talking about has to do with science in the Bible. As a matter of fact, the Bible is a biology science book, physics book. It's the way I look at it. They talk about operating on brain surgery in the Bible. It's like, what? Have you ever seen Paul Wallace? Guy I interacted with in the past, and I know the guy because I was able to speak to him face to face. He's an archbishop. He has an amazing channel, Paul Wallace, and he's showing the world, explaining the alien connection in religion. It's something that if you're researching, you're going to definitely want to look into. And by the way, I'm happy to hear him say this also. Like he was saying, maybe Enoch was possibly abducted by aliens. So the old book of Enoch and all the parts in Old Testament and all the parts of the Bible that they've omitted and or hidden from people. If you're a Catholic and you go to the Catholic Church and you're old enough and you know that you remember the Catholic Church saying we do not read the Maccabees, we don't read certain books and part. Why? Go read all the parts that they don't want you to read. In reality, you're going to find so much truth. It's going against what they're saying. Peter, thanks, man. Everyone, it's been truly an amazing stream. Enjoyed the chat and things discussed. Thank you so much, bro. Amazing support, you guys. See you all later for the late one. Yes, it'll be really late for you. Peter comes by here as 1, 2 in the morning, but I love you for it, Peter. I hope you, Kelly, and the whole family are doing well. Bruce and gang, thank you so much, man. Love you guys, and I'll talk to you all very soon. Thanks, mods, and to all newcomers for the amazing contributions and support. If you're here, you're definitely contributing to the channel. So I'll see you all at 8 o'clock. I'm off to have my bacon for Floyd, and I'll see you all a bit later. Thanks for contributing the ideas too, and the comments, and just making this an amazing conversation. I'm going to go back and watch some of the stream. I thank you all so much, guys. I talk to you all very, very soon. Love you all. Bye-bye.